Why does he have 3 children with 3 baby mothers? And if they're all black queens, why has he not taken one of those queens and made...
Why does he have 3 children with 3 baby mothers? And if they're all black queens, why hasn't he taken one of those queens and made her his queen? That's the question that recently went viral, leaving Dr. Umar Johnson visibly uncomfortable during a live event overseas. A woman in the audience, tired of the endless online rumors, decided to confront him directly, asking the question everyone seems to be thinking but afraid to say out loud. And the way Umar responded, let's just say it didn't clear the air. In fact, it only added fuel to the fire. This is a story about contradictions, credibility, and the public image of a man who built his career on preaching about family unity, discipline, and Pan-African philosophy, while simultaneously raising questions about his own ability to maintain the very principles he advocates. Today, we're diving deep into the messiness of Dr. Umar Johnson's personal life, the reactions it's caused, and how it ties into his ongoing promises about building the FDMG Academy. Buckle up, because this one is messy. Dr. Umar Johnson has spent years building a public persona as a thought leader, educator, and motivational speaker for Black communities. He preaches about the importance of unity, Pan-Africanism, and raising strong, disciplined children. On stage, his voice booms with conviction as he tells audiences about the significance of marrying within the community, respecting Black women, and building generational wealth. He paints a vivid picture of the ideal Black family: fathers who are present, mothers who are honored, and children who are guided to greatness. But as compelling as his speeches are, there's a growing perception that his personal life doesn't align with his public persona. While he preaches family values, Umar has children with multiple women and has not married any of their mothers. For a man whose credibility rests on being a model of the very principles he teaches, this contradiction is hard to ignore. And that's exactly why the confrontation at this overseas event gained so much attention. During the event, a woman stood up and asked the question that has been on everyone's mind. If Umar is so vocal about representing and honoring Black women, why hasn't he committed to one of the mothers of his children? Why does he have 3 children by 3 different women instead of showing the community that he values family unity in his own life? She shared a personal anecdote about her son, who's 27 years old. He had watched Umar's speeches online, learned about his philosophy, and admired his message. Yet he couldn't reconcile the gap between Umar's public advocacy and his private decisions. He asked his mother, if he's talking about representing and encouraging men to date within the community, why doesn't he marry one of these women and set an example? The question was simple, but it hit at the core of Umar's credibility. It highlighted a glaring contradiction. Here is a man instructing others on how to conduct their personal lives, yet many observers feel that he has failed to practice those principles in his own household. Umar didn't shy away from answering the question, though his response was careful and, to some, unsatisfactory. He explained that his oldest daughter is 22, and in his view, there was no reason to marry her mother. His youngest daughter is 13, and while he didn't go into full details about her mother, he stated that whoever he marries must be able to support his larger mission. He even claimed that he couldn't get married without jeopardizing his plans for his school, saying, "I can't have a school without my queens." At first glance, this seems like a reasonable explanation, but it also raises questions. By framing marriage around his professional mission rather than his personal commitment to family, Umar sidesteps the very principle he preaches, that fathers should create stable households for their children. Critics argue that this response shows a pattern of prioritizing his public image and ambitions over his family's emotional needs. To the public, Umar's response did little to quiet skepticism. The woman's question wasn't an attack, it was an observation grounded in what people can see. Umar's followers admire his speeches, but when those speeches clash with his private life, the credibility of his message is naturally questioned. It's one thing to speak about family unity and accountability, it's another to live it consistently, day in and day out. This situation became even more complex because it didn't occur in isolation. Umar's family drama has been publicly visible for years. Some of the mothers of his children have accused him of being absent or dishonest, while his daughter has claimed she hasn't seen him in over a decade. These public narratives clash with the image Umar promotes, creating a complicated story that is difficult for audiences to ignore. Let's break down what's publicly known. Umar's eldest daughter has said she hasn't seen him since she was about 9 or 10 years old. That's over a decade without a father's presence. She remembers him as being overly strict to the point of fear, and when she attempted to reconnect, he allegedly ignored her. His second daughter has faced similar claims. According to public statements, Umar kept her from being a consistent presence in her life because he refused to marry her mother.
The way Umar has discussed these situations publicly also raises eyebrows. He has given nicknames to the mothers of his children, names like Mama Smurf and Evil Vegan, that some interpret as dismissive or even demeaning. Instead of elevating these women as he preaches others should, Umar's comments can be read as reducing them to caricatures for the sake of audience entertainment. When you line up the claims from his daughters with his public statements, a clear pattern emerges. Umar presents himself as a man who tried everything, while the mothers of his children and his daughters are cast as obstacles or antagonists. Whether that's a fair representation or not, the narrative creates tension between his public preaching and private behavior. Here's where it gets even more interesting. Umar has been raising funds for the FDMG Academy for over a decade, a school meant to provide world-class education for Black children. The concept is ambitious, promising international trips, professional mentorship, and a Pan-African curriculum. But progress has been slow. Every time questions arise, Umar cites external factors as the reason for delays. The government blocked the property. Vandals destroyed parts of the campus. Banks froze his accounts. And once again, the public sees a man pointing fingers at circumstances beyond his control instead of taking ownership. Compare this to his family life. When his daughters weren't receiving the attention he promised, it's the mother's fault. When his school didn't progress, it's the government's fault. This consistent pattern of deflecting responsibility is what critics call the Umar pattern. Blame others, avoid personal accountability, and maintain the narrative that you're always the victim, even when evidence suggests otherwise. Why does this matter? Because credibility is everything for someone like Dr. Umar. He isn't just a motivational speaker, he's a community leader who asks others to donate, support, and trust his vision. He asks Black men to honor their partners and raise strong families. He asks Black women to see their value. He promises children access to education and opportunity. But if his personal life tells a different story, if he can't maintain a stable household or fulfill his obligations as a father, then his credibility is fundamentally undermined. People start to ask, if he can't lead his own family, how can he be trusted to lead a community or an educational institution? This isn't just online speculation. It's a real, observable tension between the principles Umar preaches and the actions he takes. And in today's digital age, when every word and action can be amplified, contradictions like this spread fast and damage public trust. Let's look at the patterns more closely. With his family, the mothers are bitter. With his daughters, they're ungrateful. With his school, it's the haters or the government holding him back. The narrative is consistent. Umar is always the one being wronged, never the one accountable. His daughters, however, offer a starkly different perspective. They describe emotional absence, missed opportunities for guidance, and years of neglect. They paint a picture of a father more concerned with controlling the narrative than actually being present. This contradiction between public persona and private behavior is central to why so many people are questioning him. Adding to the mess is Umar's own approach to public engagement. He frequently discusses personal family drama online, whether through live streams or social media posts. From nicknames like Mama Smurf and Evil Vegan to discussions about custody disputes, he exposes private family matters to the public eye. Some see this as transparency, others see it as self-serving, a way to entertain followers, maintain attention, and solicit donations. Regardless of intent, the effect is the same. Audiences scrutinize him not only for his message, but also for his behavior, drawing parallels between the way he manages his family and the way he manages his school. So, what can we take away from this? First, it's a cautionary tale about credibility. Preaching is easy. Living by your own principles is hard. Audiences notice when leaders don't practice what they preach, and social media ensures that inconsistencies are amplified. Second, it's a reminder of the importance of accountability. Deflecting blame may work temporarily, but over time, patterns emerge. Whether it's family, business, or community leadership, people expect consistency between words and actions. Without it, trust erodes, and even well-intentioned efforts like building a school are viewed with skepticism. Finally, it's about public perception versus private reality. We can't know every detail behind closed doors, but when someone consistently shares personal narratives with the public, their credibility is on trial. And in Umar's case, the trial is ongoing. So what do you think? Is Dr. Umar Johnson being unfairly judged for the complexities of his personal life, or do the contradictions in his actions versus his message indicate a deeper problem with credibility and accountability? Drop your thoughts in the comments.